Ladies and gentlemen, now today we're going to be having a little bit of a chat and breaking down the full announcement for Variant 3 that Kabam dropped yesterday evening. And looking through this morning, man, I was proper chuffed to read a lot of this stuff, man. There is so much really good information. And I think to summarize, Polar Opposites might be the best variant that we have seen so far for kind of 4 core reasons. And the first one is it's only 6 quests instead of 9, and alongside that as well, the rewards are arguably even better because of the 2016 champions being included in the rank up gems. Also the fact that Sentinel is going to be really OP in this one, and finally there are no hard gates on this one, so no class restrictions, no champion requirements, no star restrictions, but there are certain stuff that tech champions really do benefit from in terms of a couple of the global nodes. So we're going to have a little bit of a chat and break it all down, but the announcement is looking really good so far. So again, it's going to be available first and foremost next Wednesday, and we're going to be live streaming it as well. It's going to have the classic difficulty in the variant. The classic is really just standard for new players, and the variant looks absolutely insane. So the variant challenges, variant difficulty will test not only your skills but your knowledge of champion abilities, immunities, resistance and counters. Those who rely on only a few champions will find the need to diversify. Like back issue number 2, we're going to be encouraging the use of certain champions. This time you'll want to take advantage of the composite construction. In brackets, all tech champions in this fight are immune to ability accuracy modification and stack overflow. So for each tech champion on the attacker's team, it increases the attacker's debuffs by a duration of 10%, and global nodes to boost the power of your tech champions. So yeah, there's some stuff that's going to be very beneficial to tech characters, especially Sentinel, man. So even more of a power-up, use the Mutant Hunting Sentinel to take advantage of the brand new Apex manufacture. A global node geared specifically to the Mutant Hunting Sentinel. Apex manufacture allows Sentinel to gain analysis charges even faster and to deal bonus true damage per analysis charge. Now, the Apex manufacture node just seems so crazy because it's going to double the analysis charge gain of Sentinel, and the big kind of struggle or thing that makes Sentinel a little bit slower is getting to 100 analysis, because when you're there, you win the video game. He's so much more enjoyable to play, but this is insane, especially considering that a lot of champions are going to be mutants in this event. So doubling the charges against a mutant champion where it's already doubled, so if you bait out like a second consecutive special, you'd usually gain 40 analysis charges, but with this you should gain 80, and that's going to be crazy for ramping him up. Hitting into the block, you'd usually gain 8, you're now going to gain 16 if you want to like evade as well and kind of play Quake style to ramp him up. That's going to be like 16 charges per evade there. So Sentinel just seems crazy, and on top of that, like insanely enhanced charge gain as well. For every charge you're going to deal 1% additional damage as true damage, so it's 100% additional damage on all of your basic hits as well. So yeah, Sentinel is absolutely going to destroy this variant. I imagine even the 4-star version is going to be viable as well. So that seems really good, and on top of that we have a second node which really does benefit Sentinel as well. Especially when it comes to Magneto and Domino matchups. So all tech champions in this fight are immune to ability accuracy modification. So Magneto's metal ability accuracy decrease and Domino's ability accuracy decrease. Tech champions are going to be immune to that. That's also really good news for Ghost as well, and any kind of robot or metal champion versus Magneto bosses. And for each additional tech champion on the attacker's team, increases the duration of their debuffs by 10% as well. So that's great news for any tech champions that have damage over time. I think Sentinel, Nebula, Iron Man, Infinity War, like, can have some really good synergies with this one. Also, like Stark and Spider-Man, the shot from the special too, should have a really nice damage increase there. So those 3 nodes are all really great benefits to various tech champions, man. A lot of very good stuff there. You can see the theme is really to encourage tech champions, but it doesn't seem like any of these are going to be essential. It looks like you can still use other champions to get through all sorts of stuff, but you know, we're going to have to see when the the content does release. Then we have all of the brand new global nodes as well, and there's one of these nodes that really does concern me, selective time stream, and we'll talk about that one in a second because that one seems a little bit scary, but everything else seems relatively manageable for the most part. So the first one is Flux Dispersal. So each time the defender is struck, they gain a dispersal charge, which reduces all damage taken from hits by 5%, and being struck by a heavy attack removes all charges. This is very Sentinel friendly as well, because the heavy is very kind of easy to weave in once you get 100 analysis. But again, this one doesn't really seem too bad. A lot of champions nowadays kind of incorporate their heavy quite well, like Ghost, Domino as well, Sentinel, maybe Iron Man Infinity War, and a lot of other champions. So that one certainly doesn't seem too bad at all. And then we've also got Goose Warp. Each time the defender is struck, they gain a Goose charge. I don't even know, I don't know if that's how you say it. Increasing their block penetration by 5%, and one of these charges is removed each second while they are afflicted with a shock debuff. So this one maybe seems a little bit more annoying, but I definitely prefer a node like this to like Aspect of War. I think this is a lot less hectic to deal with than Aspect of War, but it means that you are not really going to have your block active for the most part unless you bring in a shock champion. But if you got like Sentinel or Iron Man Infinity War or Nebula or Warlock as well, then you're going to be able to bypass this node very easily. The next one we have is Berserker Barrage. So whenever the attacker is not under the effect of a regeneration buff, the defender gains a passive fury every 1 second. Each fury increases the defender's attack by 50% and are all removed if the defender gains a regeneration buff. So yeah, I'm not really too sure what to make of that one. It kind of depends on the opponents in the quest. This could be like really savage, or it could be quite easy to deal with if you have a lot of opponents where you can quite easily bait out the special one. So yeah, I'm going to wait and see on that one, but if you can bring in like a lot of champions like Wolverine, X-23, and all sorts of additional champions that can kind of proc and provide regeneration buffs, maybe this one might not be too bad, but we'll have to see on that one. Then we got power efficiency, so the defender's special attacks cost 50% less power. I don't know what that one's going to be paired up with. Maybe the next node, Typhoon there, but this one, it's kind of like, you know, power reserve that only benefits the opponent. Might not be too bad in the right matchup, especially if there's a very easy special 1 and special 2 to bait out there. And then we got Typhoons. So when the defender activates a special attack, they place a passive ion pulse on the attacker. At 10 charges, the attacker is power burned for 100% of their current power, and the charges are removed. If the attacker performs a special 3, all charges are removed. I don't really know how much damage that power burn is going to deal, but it's 100% of your current power. So there are ways to play around this by either using a power control champion, either using the special 3, or if you, what is it, just make sure you're at like almost 0 power when the opponent throws like that final special attack, you should be good. So it looks like there are a lot of ways to play around Typhoons. So that one doesn't really seem too bad. And then we've got Hit Me, I Dare You. When struck, the defender gains a Seatin charge. At 10 charges, all are removed, and the defender gains an armor up buff, increasing armor by 50%, lasting 30 seconds. This one says it's an armor up buff and not an armor up passive, so I assume you can just use any champion that has like an armor break to get rid of this, like Iron Man Infinity War, maybe Medusa, Hyperion, Cull Obsidian. A lot of the cosmic champions are going to be quite good here, and this one might be combined as well with Chitinous Fawns. So if the defender has an armor up buff, the attacker is inflicted with bleed debuff, causing 50% of the defender's attack over 5 seconds each time contact is made. And I think one champion is going to have a really good time if this is a node combination here, and that's going to be Ghost Man, because you can literally just attack in, phase, attack in, and you're going to be like stacking up those fury buffs like crazy. So I reckon yeah, Ghost is going to have a great time on that one. Also Sentinel as well, because Sentinel can still deal you know, all of the true damage, the incinerate damage, and the shock damage, so he's going to be having a really great time there. And the final node that I think is going to be a bit of an issue, man, which seems very scary. So every 20 seconds, the defender's health is instantly restored to full, and any debuffs on them are removed. This cannot be prevented with ability accuracy reduction. However, if you have an Incinerate or Shock debuff on the opponent, you prevent this regeneration. So, that doesn't seem, you know, like the scariest node in the world if you're playing like Iron Man Infinity War or maybe Sentinel, but it's just like if you mess up the timing, then the opponent is instantly gonna go back to full. So it might be a little bit scary depending on what opponents you have and what the matchup is. So we're going to have to see, and I assume this one being quite toward the bottom of the list is probably going to be the final chapter there. So I'm a little bit concerned about selective time stream, but hopefully it shouldn't be too bad to deal with. I think there are a fair few champions nowadays that do provide some sort of shock or incinerate. You know, you've got Hyperion, looking down the Beyond God tier list as well. We also have Spider-Man Stark Enhanced off his special too. I don't think that's going to be as reliable as like Iron Man Infinity War or Sentinel that can like easily get it off with like a special one or a heavy there. And yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a few more options like Massacre as well. We do have the Incinerate available. Maybe a little bit of Human Torch is going to be quite good there. Maybe Red Hulk Special 2 is going to be a somewhat viable option. I'm not really too sure about that one the more I think about it. Maybe Mephisto as well. Hood has a shock on his special one, so maybe Hood is going to end up being quite good there. But yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about that node, man. A little bit nervous, but I think there are quite a few counters. And just to cover, the rewards are pretty much the same as the previous variants, so the 3 times 2 to 3 5-star gems. The rank up gems are now 2015 and 2016, so it makes them a lot better as there are so many God tier, Beyond God tier champions that were released in 2016, such as She-Hulk, your Quake, Hyperion, Ghost Rider, Dr. Voodoo. Got some fairly decent ones as well, like X23, Old Man Logan after the buff, Red Hulk, maybe Crossbones as well, maybe Kamala Khan for the Adventurous there. But you know, there are a lot of really, really good champions that are added now into the 2016 rank up gem pool. So that makes them even more valuable. Still got the rank 4 gem, the 5-star rank 4 gem, still got the 5-star rank 5 gem as well, which is the highlight of all the variant rewards. Still going to get 5-star awakening gem, 2 5-star crystals, 27,000 tier 5 basic catalyst fragments, just over 2,000 6-star shards, 42 5-star signature stones, 2.1 million gold, 270 units, and also there is a final note on this one. Colossus is a final boss, and Old Man Logan is a mini-boss encounter in this variant difficulty. We've tuned the difficulty of this content to compensate for where we believe their rework will land them in terms of difficulty. They will be updated when their rework is complete. Summoners that complete this before the rework have the chance to fight their current kit. So basically, if you do variant this month, it's going to be a little bit easier fighting Colossus and Old Man Logan throughout it. And also just to show you the bosses as well, courtesy of the Super Gaming Family YouTube channel. The bosses should be, we have 2 Magnetos in Chapter 1, and then in Chapter 2 it should be Wolverine and Storm. Chapter 3 is going to be Colossus, so this Colossus might be a little bit more tricky after the buff, and the final boss hopefully should be Kang as well. So in terms of the bosses, animations, and abilities that they have, I don't think anybody is going to be that tricky, especially considering that the biggest annoyance of Magneto, you know, reducing the ability accuracy of like tech and robot champions is going to be removed with the global nodes. That seems like a really, really good time there. But overall, man, this variant announcement is looking awesome. I'm very, very, very excited for Variant 3. I'm looking forward to the live stream next Wednesday as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy today's breakdown video of the brand new variant, please do smash that like button. Aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.